Folks, thanks for coming on with us today. My name is John Dubas with Premier Marketing, and we'll be spending the next 45 minutes to an hour or so discussing how we can help you grow your income through the use of chronic special needs programs and cross-selling with some other products that are part of our portfolio here at Premier Marketing. As a bit of housekeeping, today's presentation is being recorded, and it, along with many of the material pieces that we use through the course of the presentation, will be sent to all who had expressed interest in today's webinar. So watch for that later today or tomorrow as soon as the recording updates for us. If you have questions through the course of the presentation, please make use of the questions box within the GoToWebinar software, and we'll make certain that we address those questions as soon as possible. A bit of background about Premier Marketing. We are a national marketing organization founded in 1968. We're part of the Integrity Marketing Platform with offices across the country. We act as an insurance wholesaler, providing insurance contracts and services through independent insurance agents with contracts available at the highest possible commission levels and recruiting contracts available to those who qualify. As I mentioned, we were founded in 1968, so that means recently we celebrated a milestone in our history, 50th anniversary. It's quite an accomplishment for what started as a family agency in a small town in rural Nebraska that has grown into one of the largest marketing organizations in the Medicare space. We do so through a full insurance portfolio that includes Medicare programs like Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement plans, standalone prescription drug plans, the Part D programs, and a full portfolio of life insurance and annuity products, including final expense life insurance and pre-need programs. We also offer long-term and short-term care programs, disability income plans, and ancillary benefits that include dental, vision, and hearing products, critical illness and cancer plans, and hospital indemnity programs. Those Medicare Advantage programs include all the national carriers and many of the strong regional carriers that make a difference for you in your market. And that philosophy carries over into the standalone PDP arena, where those national carriers are available for your use through our organization. Medicare Supplements, well, that's a very robust portfolio, and we have specific tools in place to help you be successful in that space as well. When you look at the ancillary products, the leaders in those different categories are there for you to use, and you can see where those can be of help to you because they are a great cross-selling tool and a great prospecting tool as well. And I apologize, I'm reading some feedback on the system where someone's having some system challenges. Not certain why that's occurring. What I might suggest is disengaging and coming back in, logging back in. I think that's part of a challenge you have there. When you look at the Medicare market overall, we're looking at a very robust market, obviously, and it's one that you don't come on a presentation like this without somebody telling you about the aging of the baby boomers, 10,000 people a day turning 65, one every 11 seconds, whatever statistic they want to use with you. But keep in mind that just because someone turns 65, it's not a true parameter of Medicare coverage, because there are folks that don't access Medicare as soon as they turn 65. They may wait for one reason or another. And then there's a good portion of the Medicare population that is actually under the age of 65. About a sixth of the Medicare population is there for medical purposes or because of disability. So they're accessing that care before the age of 65. So that market's actually much larger than just the turning 65 and up population that many of us speak to all the time. It's a very diverse population. It's a population that's challenged physically with many chronic conditions, and sometimes it's also challenged in the wallet, where the income and assets are a challenge, where then as an independent agent, we look to make certain we have a portfolio of products that can address the needs based on the parameters given to us by our prospects and clients. And it's a situation where even a subset of those folks are even more challenged and demand additional assistance from us as independent agents because of that situation. And we have to do so through a budget. And if we're not able to help them based on the products that best suit them, then we're kind of failing our purpose in a manner of speaking. When someone does come eligible for Medicare, they have a number of different choices that they can use. I had a sales manager many years ago that used to tell me, a decision to make a decision is a decision. And that's true. And we find a number of folks who go on Medicare and don't always make the right decisions to start with. They may not enroll in Part B, the optional medical coverage, when they are first eligible and feel the ramifications thereafter. Or they may have just original Medicare and self-insure for everything else, even turning down the Part D coverage, which is also optional as well. So we see folks make different choices on how they're going to ensure the shortfall within the Medicare program itself. Some will pick up that drug program. Some will also pick up a standardized Medicare Supplement program, a Medigap program. Others will opt into Medicare Advantage. Regardless of some of their base coverages, they still have needs that we need to address on an individual basis and through different programs such as chronic special needs programs, which may address those challenges throughout the year. What we're seeing with some of the statistics given to us by Deaf Research is folks that are aging into Medicare, well, it's a pretty even split as to how they're handling their base coverages. Between Medicare and Advantage and MedSup, you see just a 2% difference as to how they're accessing medical care. And you still have a pretty good percentage of folks that are Medicare only. There could be a number of reasons why that is happening. And there is also options that people have that they don't need to do anything other than additional or original Medicare. So some different things that come into play, but it's a huge market and we can serve each of those categories. And we do so by identifying some of the challenges that those folks have and that we see some of the things that make a difference as well. And I'm getting some additional feedback here where we're having some challenges with the software still. Bear with me. Hopefully that's addressing it. Cool. And I apologize for the delay there. Some of the things that would be really helpful for us as well is as we enter into the world of Medicare, much like any other subset. I have family members that are computer people. They have their own language. And we see some of that same piece of challenges when it comes to communications within the Medicare world as well. So we have some help for you with a translation guide as a matter of speaking. This would normally come to you as part of the follow-up to today's presentation, but it is a large interactive file. So as you see some of the follow-up sent to you today, this will ask you for requests for this specifically because it'll be a singular piece that'll go out to those that would like it. So getting to the gist of our presentation today, we'll spend some time talking about a subset in the Medicare Advantage world that is focusing on chronic special needs programs. They are a program that enables you to enroll people throughout the year. We've listed here some of our standard enrollment periods that we're all well aware of. We're in the OEP presently, and we've done some different things to help you understand those different election periods through additional webinars. We'll link that to today's presentation as well. But you've got a number of different special election periods that will allow you to work the Medicare population throughout the year. And in many circumstances, these SEPs help you identify what may well be the best choice for the folks that you're visiting with. Just look at, there's a ton of them. The one we concentrate on, well, and Mother Nature actually helps as well with different SEPs. There are ways to identify these. You'll have a guide here that will be sent to you as well. But what we're going to do today is spend some time on working these special needs programs. And these are plans that are actually created by an act of Congress clear back in 2003 that focuses on certain vulnerable groups of Medicare beneficiaries. There's been a ton of legislation since 2003 that have kept these in play. And what we've seen going into 2020 and with some of the proposed rule changes for 21 and 22, there's an emphasis on this space. And what we're seeing is a large number of carriers offering more and more of these types of programs throughout the country. We saw a narrowing of the focus of these for a period of time after a big splash when they were first introduced, but we're seeing these really address some of the, what's the good word here? The great social determinants of health, a great catchphrase that people use in many circumstances that address some of the challenges we have in the Medicare world for folks that are affected by things outside of just pure health circumstances. And these programs help address that, and they're able to offer benefits outside of some of the standard health care. And it is set up for some of these special needs plans that you'll see make them unique in what we're looking to do to help address this population. There are 3 types of special needs programs. There are the chronic special needs plans that we'll concentrate on today that lay out a program based on certain severe or disabling chronic conditions. You see a great list of those there. Just because a condition is laid out there doesn't necessarily mean that a special needs program addressing that issue is available for you in your market to serve your prospects and clients. One of the standard things we run across a lot are people looking for a special needs plan for cancer. I haven't seen one anywhere in the country, in all honesty, but you'll see some things that come about with more regularity than others, and they tend to be in the cardiovascular area, dealing with the heart, the lungs, or with diabetes. So those are the ones you see most frequently. There are certain markets that address ESRD, end-stage renal disease, chronic conditions. In many markets, those are non-commissionable. There are exceptions in certain markets, but in 2021, the question that on a regular Medicare Advantage app that says, okay, if you got end-stage renal, you can't come on, well, they're changing that going into 2021. So watch for some of the changes moving forward after this year as well. Institutional SNPs are available to those that live in a certain institution. As brokers, we look at that and go, wow, it's a great opportunity. Not really. Most of the time, those are limited in scope and availability. And where they are available, they tend to be handled by captive agents only. And then, of course, there's the dual special needs program. That is the program that is aimed at folks that have both Medicare and Medicaid. And that is a SNP program that's blown up completely. You have a ton of different carriers offering it now. And we have a special webinar specifically for that as well. To be eligible for the chronic SNP, however, you got to have A and B, just like you do on regular MAPD programs. You have to have one of the specified chronic conditions for that C-SNP and have that condition verified by a physician within a certain time period as well. Obviously, like an MAPD, you have to live in a service area and do not have end-stage renal disease except for the chronic SNP that specifically addresses that condition. One of the things that you see about a special needs program is you do have a SEP for each condition that's listed as part of that plan. So if you've got a program that addresses a cardiovascular challenge and you also have diabetes, well, you may have 2 SEPs for that individual that you can exercise throughout the course of the year. You can only use this SEP one time per condition throughout the year. And the coverage begins the first day of the month after you submit that application. Because these programs are very specific about the conditions they're addressing, they're looking to help this MAPD program address those conditions. So you may well see a subset of a directory of providers that come into play. There are normally a focused drug list with these programs as well. And keep in mind, every special needs plan, whichever type we were looking at of those three, a special needs program, MAPD program, always has integrated prescription coverage as part of that program. And in many certain circumstances, a specific care coordination service that comes with these programs. That's part of the allure of the offering that's made. When you look at it overall, keep in mind, 90% of the seniors have at least one chronic condition, 77% have two or more. You get the baby boomers coming in, you get the dual eligibles that are part of it, and you have such a predominance of the population that has a chronic condition. You can see why this is a good marketing opportunity year-round for those that have the plan available in their market. This is an idea of some of the most common chronic conditions based on fee-for-service beneficiaries within the Medicare program, and you see many of these circumstances are the triggers for more common chronic special needs programs. Where do you get the information? Well, the government's doing a really good job about giving you some ideas as to how they help people with certain health conditions outside of enrolling them in a Part C program. This is a really cool piece that the government has in play on YouTube that goes through and gives you information about certain conditions. Cheating here. It goes through and it speaks to it. It's in English, it's in Spanish, it's in multiple types of languages in many circumstances, but it's also in readily understandable type of communications. So you have it for some of the different conditions that we have that are covered by chronic special needs programs. And it's one of the things that I recommend agents educate themselves on to differentiate what a person gets with regular Medicare and what they get with a Medicare Advantage program as well. Because you can go in and identify these opportunities specifically through using what this last fall was the much maligned Medicare Health Plan Finder. This gives you an opportunity to use the government website, go in and identify health plans, go in without logging in or creating a account, which they recognize as the most proficient way for a beneficiary to proceed, and then just identify certain topics that you're looking for specifically. You'll see in this particular Dallas zip code, the number of plans increased by about 10 different plans in this zip code by adding in special needs programs. It then gives you an idea of looking at those programs, and they identify themselves with this particular acronym, where you get the CSNP in the system, and it tells you, well, that's a special program for a special individual with a special condition. And what we'll do here is give you a bit of an outlook on how that works really quickly. Bear with me a moment. And we'll pull that really quickly and give you an idea as to how that looks. It's actually so simple, even I can do it. So we go in to the website, we look for the health plans for the current year. Like we have a choice of anything else. We continue without logging in. We're looking at Medicare Advantage programs. And let's just look at a local zip code here in North Texas. Let's plead ignorance and continue without logging in. We're not looking for the drug cost at this particular time because we're not comparing the plans. We're just looking to identify where they are. So it'll think, and it tells us that we have this number of plans. We'll add in the special needs programs. This gives you the indication of the different types that are available that we identified earlier, the I-SNP, the D-SNP, and the C-SNP. Let's add that in. And you'll see one of the things that we encounter in many circumstances with agents that are looking for a way to help identify the proper program for an individual. One of the things we want to make certain that we do is realize that in some circumstances, just because a plan is labeled for diabetics or labeled for challenges with the cardiovascular system, there may be other programs that we might find more appropriate, but what we're looking for now is how we can improve our beneficiaries' situation at present. Because if they don't qualify for a special election period for a regular Medicare Advantage program, well, you know they do for the chronic SNP, and that chronic SNP, SEP, is only for a plan so designated. So we have to make certain that we follow the proper path and look to improve their current situation. And you'll see as we roll through things here, this is just a listing based on premiums, not out-of-pocket costs or with the drugs. And that's where you will see, as you enter into different medications, how the formularies for these different chronic special needs programs can make a big difference for your folks. So here we encounter a chronic special needs program offered in a zip code here in Lewisville, Texas, for a C-SNP program. So that gives us an idea of where we can find plans in our particular market. Obviously, we've got agents on the line all across the country with different zip codes. So you're going to want to put in, obviously, your target zip code. So to give you an idea as to where you can find it. This is also a great way of finding where different plans are available as well through the q1medicare.com website. It gives you an opportunity to identify those programs this way as well. I start with the Medicare.gov website simply because that's one we can use in discussions with a beneficiary. You wouldn't want to use a comparison site like Q1 Medicare with the beneficiaries in that discussion. It's great background material. And it then gives you a layout of what plans are available all across the country. You can pull it out by state and or zip code, and it'll give you the opportunity to identify those programs and what you have to offer folks in those target markets. Working with these programs, however, do require a bit of homework. You have to be prepared. It's very important to know the plan and the network, and because of that, it's important to know your local support with the different carriers offering the programs as well. You'll find that most of the insurance carriers are very aggressive in their support for you as you offer these programs year-round. Wonder why that is, huh? But it's an opportunity for you then to perhaps garner some additional marketing support, and obviously the important thing is the knowledge about the plan and the network itself. It's also important to note that we do a fact finder with our beneficiaries to see if they qualify for any other type of assistance programs, the Medicare savings programs, the extra help low income subsidy program, different managed Medicaid programs. That's what Star Plus is in Texas. It's the managed care program for Medicaid. But those can affect, obviously, the cost of any of the programs that you're offering, simply because, for example, the low income subsidy will override the co-payments within their prescription coverages. So having that come into play and properly entering in the information in the plan finder will give you the more reliable outcome for your prospecting client. Because this is a program that prompts a lot of discussion, you do need to be prepared for a longer appointment, and that you go through very carefully to address the specialists that are involved with the care of the individual, if they're willing to change or if they're part of the network. And it's also important to note that we have to be able to identify other services delivered by Medicare as part of this program as well. What do I mean by that? Well, are they using durable medical equipment? So is that part of the network? Are they accessing home health care? because of the challenges they have with a particular illness for the CSNP, or one aside from it. Making certain we do much of what we do with a regular MAPD program, but diving deeper and making certain that we cross our T's and dot our I's the way we need to, and then look at the different multiple steps, utilize the Plan Finder or Medicare Center or another comparison tool to make certain that we're offering the best plan available. When you deal with folks challenged by chronic illnesses, it's also important to deal with and bring in family members and other folks that are part of the decision. You may have a family member that is a reliable part of their transport for an appointment. Many of these chronic programs and special needs programs come with transportation. So knowing that and communicating those benefits to not only the beneficiary but the family makes a big difference as well. And it's important to work, as I mentioned before, with the carriers because they have different trainings specifically on their product. And you may have two chronic special needs programs in the same market for the same illness, and they may act differently. And they may also have different networks. So knowing the differences, the pros and cons of each of them are very important as well, and make use of the material that the carrier provides for you. And as I showed you a bit earlier, some of the governmental support material that's available for you as well. It's just a question of knowing where to look in many circumstances. If you have a chronic special needs program in an area offered by more than one company or multiple chronic special needs programs based on certain illnesses, it's important to know the differences. Why would someone do this versus just Medicare or just the MAPD program that they're on currently? Keep in mind, many of the benefits that we have seen rolled out last year, predicated by the government allowing different types of benefits based on social determinants of health, those extra benefits can make a huge difference for these folks. There's actually a chronic special needs plan here in Texas that helps cover air conditioning. So you look at these different benefits and help the people with the information so they can make the decision that's best for them. And once again, spend the time on identifying all the providers that are part of that individual's care and the support that you can count on from the different carriers in order to help market efficiently, effectively, and consistently. As I've gone through a number of these slides, it makes it sound like, boy, we're dealing with a whole bunch of sick people. Not necessarily. There are folks that have challenges based on that health condition, but there are those that have a condition that qualifies an individual for a special needs program, and they have that illness under control. They may be diabetic and are controlling that circumstance based on income and diet, but they're diagnosed as diabetic. You may even be able to get those folks qualified for additional help on an ancillary program or a final expense program that can make a difference for them on their overall package of benefits that they have and need for themselves and their family. So just because something is laid out as a chronic special needs plan, it doesn't mean that individual is actually sick, if that makes any sense. You have a ton of reference material available for the MA space. Utilizing the Medicare and You handbook is very helpful because, as we have mentioned in different trainings, there are different conditions that are identified, different circumstances, I should say, that are identified as not having full coverage with Medicare, having challenges with therapeutic radiology with just original Medicare, and you got that 20%, well, look for other things to plug that hole. It makes a difference for them. Long-term care is not covered. Most certainly, there's no coverage for burial with original Medicare. And that whopping $255 benefit with Social Security, well, that's not getting them very far either. Our final expense department has some great marketing tools and products that can help plug that hole for you as well. So utilizing these tools are very helpful, and staying within the marketing guidelines that we have given to us by the government are paramount for your success. We want to make certain that we're able to identify how we have come across these prospects. And if there's ever any issues with the different companies, we want to make certain that they know how we come across these folks and that we've done it properly. Some of the tools that we offer to help you with cross-selling in these circumstances as well include the quoting tool made available through our contract with CSG. It gives you the opportunity then to quote multiple products and cross-sell off of this as well. Because in many circumstances, a lot of the folks we visit for a CSNP tend to be at that median income or lower. Having an opportunity to look at a current program that they're on and identifying a way of filling some of the gaps can be very helpful. This tool will help you as you go into a house, you identify an individual, they've got an MA coverage, for example, they're comfortable with it, their docs are all on it, and even though you're offering them a very good program, they may choose not to change to a different MAPD program. Identifying what plan they're on and adding in a filler type of program can make a big difference for you, because you can still walk out of the house with a sale. It gives you an opportunity in this software system to identify their MA plan and then add in hospital indemnity to cover those daily co-payments that they have while they're in the hospital. So it's a great way for you to still create a client and work with them year over year for their coverages. It's important to remember too, not to put all your eggs in one basket. Being flexible with the programs that you offer as you go into the house can make a big difference as to whether or not you make a sale or a client, more importantly, year over year, because whatever you do, one size doesn't fit all, and we want to make certain that we are addressing the needs to the best of our ability and for the best interest of our prospects and clients. So we have these tools that we can use. The Medicare Plan Finder, they're working on different types of, well, addressing the issues that they had last fall with it. There's been some improvement on it as well. We've got different trainings on the Plan Finder itself that's helpful for you, but we also have the program that enables you through a software system made available through Premier Marketing, our Medicare Center program, that can help you not only compare those plans side by side, but do it remotely and compliantly, because you're able to collect that electronic scope of appointment ahead of time and do comparisons at a distance as well. It also helps you with those remote enrollments where you actually get paid for them, a big deal. We talk about all these different means of offering programs and how they can make a difference for you, but what we're looking to not only identify for that first sale is an opportunity to sell additional products so we can grow our retention, make certain the persistency of our book of business is there, because studies show the more policies you have in a house, well, the better they all stick. And the better you're doing the job of covering all the needs of your prospects and clients and locking out your competition. So that's something that we want to do. One of the things that we have available for you as well is a guarantee issue product with a free chronic and terminal illness rider. And we've invited Yanni Laborde to come on the line with us today and give us kind of a brief scenario or an overview of this product. Yanni, would you do these folks the pleasure of helping me shut up and give them a little bit of a background?
Thanks, John. Yes, this is Yanni Laborde, National Sales Manager with Premier Marketing here. Really appreciate the opportunity here, John. So with our guarantee issue products, we actually have several to choose from. Our most popular is actually through American General, AIG. The product is designed for individuals between the ages of 50 to 85 with benefits up to $25,000. What's really nice about this particular product is its process. It's simply done over the web platform. Depending on how fast you type is essentially how long it's going to take for you to be able to issue business and get an actual policy number for an individual. Now, multiple payment methods are available with the AIG guarantee issue product. So whether they're trying to make the premiums be withdrawn through their checking or savings account, or maybe they want to go ahead and use their Social Security debit card, those options are available. So with the individuals that you'll be meeting with and who may have some of these chronic illnesses, the guarantee issue product provided by AIG is a really great way for you to increase your income quite significantly. I was actually doing the math on some of our average cases here, and by simply just doing maybe 2 a month at a nominal, $700 in annualized premium, you're talking anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 of additional income that can be put into your pocket. Now, going a little bit more into detail with the chronic illness accelerated benefit, what's really nice is you'll be able to take advantage of up to 25% of the face amount to be issued out to the individual. There is no waiting period, which is important. No additional upfront costs or anything like that. Now, that particular rider is not available to every state, so it's important that you go ahead and give me a call at some point in time here today or tomorrow maybe. We can kind of go over what is going to be available in your state. Now, the same guarantee issue product also has a terminal illness benefit. For those of you who may have sold final expense before, I can't personally think of any guarantee issue, a true guarantee issue product that's out there that'll offer both a chronic and terminal illness benefit rider at no additional cost. With the terminal illness benefit, 50% of the death benefit can actually be issued to the family there, should life expectancy of 24 months or less be given. Now, that rider as well does have some state restrictions, so be sure again to give me a call, shoot me an email, reach out to John, and he can give you my contact information, and we can go ahead and get you set up pretty quickly. Now, if there is by chance a natural death within the first 2 years of the individual's life, the beneficiaries could expect 110% return of all premiums paid. Accidental death anytime, of course, as with many of our other final expense products, would result in a full release of the death benefit, again, to the beneficiaries. With guarantee issue products, they're very simple, they're very straightforward, and like John had mentioned, not every product is a fit. For some of the individuals who might have fewer health issues, we might be able to get them through on a simplified issue product, and we have a very large portfolio that could assist you and your clients. So please reach out to myself, reach out to John, and we'd love the opportunity to help you and your business grow. John?
Awesome. Thank you, Yanni. One of the things that we want to make certain that you have are opportunities to help your folks across the board. And there may be circumstances you go into to discuss an MAPD program that you have a scope of appointment for, and you have an opportunity to discuss a life product thereafter. Keep in mind, compliance has that 48-hour cooling off period that we have to deal with. But if you're dealing with a conversation with an individual over the phone, well, one of the reasons why we like these programs is the fact they're approved for over the phone sales and they have strong conditions. And what you'll get as part of the follow-up to today's presentation is Yanni's contact information as well. Very proficient in these products. And I think this is something that you need in your pocket, regardless of who you're approaching, to handle all the circumstances you run across. So thanks, Yanni, for those tidbits for us. One of the reasons you want to offer these different programs from us here at Premier is the fact that we attempt to make life as easy as possible for you across the board. Contracting with multiple carriers can be a challenge, but utilizing the SuranceBay software system allows you to create basically an agent profile and contract with many of these carriers electronically. Eliminate as much of the paper as possible, much of filling out multiple contracts time and time again to get the full portfolio. This makes it simple for you to use and do things electronically. We also help you protect yourself and your agency. As an independent agent, you can contract with whomever you want to contract with. And in some circumstances, some of our brethren in the community will add you to their blanket E&O for products that are offered through them. Well, you don't always offer everything through one entity. Having a program like this, errors and admissions coverage, will cover you regardless of whom you contract through for what product. So we want to make certain that we're protecting your you financially and legally as well. And we offer continuing education bundles to help make certain that your licenses stay in place as well through our association with WebCE. As an independent agent, you also have the opportunity to create your own benefit package. This is a program made available to you on a modified guarantee issue basis for disability income programs that are discounted, and you share in the commission. So if you're looking to make your own portfolio of benefits as robust as possible, do it with yourself, for yourself in this circumstance. Much as where today's program is being recorded, we have recorded additional presentations in the past, not only about specific products, but also about different marketing techniques to get in front of folks. Having a chronic special needs program or one of the marketing programs for one of our other programs like Legacy Safeguard, or they're a great seminar selling tool in centers of influence across the community. We have different programs that help you make that part of your marketing program as well. Those tools that we showed a little bit earlier, well, that CSG actuarial tool that allows you to do cross-selling and e-apps, well, it's available to you without cost through our organization for our contracted agents. And that same cost structure comes into play with Medicare Center, where those programs are available to you without additional dollars out of your pocket through your relationship with our organization. We have other programs that help you with marketing, and we take these programs also and place all of the carriers' incentives in a singular spot, because we want to make certain that you are getting all you're entitled to through your sales with our organization. And in many circumstances, those sales also help you qualify for the producer convention we offer with Premier, where this year it's a cruise from Miami to the Bahamas. We'd like for you to be part of those future cruises as well. Some of the things we help you do as well in getting in front of people include custom contact lists that are available to you at low or no cost based on your contracting situation with our organization. There are many programs that allow you to cold call. Obviously, you can't for chronic special needs programs, but you can for other demand products that helps open the door for that conversation. And as I mentioned before, different seminar selling opportunities are available to you, and that boils down in many circumstances to different centers of influence in the community, including faith-based organizations or working with providers. We have those different tools that help you be proficient in that space. And if you're interested in retail marketing, that's something we do year-round now. Believe it or not, there are still people in Walmarts on a less frequent basis than during open enrollment during the EEP, but those programs are available to folks year-round as well. Some carriers also help generate prospects for you as you become involved in the Medicare Advantage space in detail, offering chronic special needs programs. You'll find many of the carriers that offer those programs are willing to offer you additional support. They're looking for year-round business, and they help you with not only generating prospects, but also in certain circumstances in providing those prospects to you as well. There are different internet lead programs that we offer. The Facebook program that Yanni can tell you about in greater detail for the final expense program is going gangbusters. We're introducing that into the Medicare space as well. And we do offer direct mail support. Based on production, we deeply discount the cost of a mailer through one of our preferred mail houses. We did a webinar yesterday on direct mail. We'll add the link to that as well, because this support varies according to the type of program that you offer. What's on the board now is what we offer in the Medicare space with the ancillary programs. Different programs in place for you for final expense. All this said and done, a lot of talking in 45 minutes, is basically our plea to you in wanting to do business with you. We have a plethora of programs that are available for you. I wanted to use that word plethora. And it gives us the opportunity for you to cross-sell with multiple programs. Getting in front of a qualified prospect, regardless of the end intent of the sale, is part of what we do, and we do well. We want to make certain that you have the portfolio in place to make that work, and that if you are interested in it, you take the Chronic Special Needs Program as part of your passion and add it to your marketing program. It's easy to see some of the rewards you get with the different programs. We also have to take into account the different things we need to invest in order to make it successful. So if you've heard enough about the Chronic Special Needs programs or some of the programs that Yanni spoke of, make that a part of your overall personal marketing program. Let's get you contracted and ready to go with these different programs. Make certain that you understand how to market them and how to make it part of your overall program. And as John Wayne said in Cowboys, the movie The Cowboys, we're burning daylight. Let's get it going now. All that said, you can reach any of us here at Premier at our toll-free number of 1-800-365-8208 or through our website at premiersmi.com. You'll have contact information sent to you as part of the follow-up to today's presentation as well, and we'll make certain that we get you the information you need to make this an effective part of your overall sales presentation. As we mentioned earlier, we are sending a PDF of these slides and the reference materials to all who have expressed interest in today's webinar. So watch for those, and we look forward to the conversations that we have with you moving forward. Until that opportunity, hey, we wish you good selling. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.